This is cool.
So,
where's the fourth member?
she's sick.
She's pregnant.
No comment.
No comment.
But what was that name? I forgot that name where you combined being an Aussie and Philly. What was that name again?
Pinoy Australiano. Yeah.
I've been thinking about it. I'm like, what was that?
Because like technically it's Filipino or Filipino Australiano, right? Because you put your parents' country first before the country you were born in.
Is that it?
Yeah, so like Filipino American, Filipino Australian, not Australian Filipino. That would mean you're Aussie, born in the Philippines. Your parents are expats.
Makes
you
sense.
know. So for years, like I was kind of like, so which one is it? You know, because they say African American, right? Not American African. But technically, it's American African when you really think about it. You know,
How so?
because because they're not. I could be offending people here, and I don't mean to, but it's like they're Africans born in America. You know, they're different from Africans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, because they were brought in.
You know, like that history,
So you think? So you're trying to say that they've been culturalized all these centuries.
Yeah.
So therefore, the term African American in the sense that your parents came there and you were born.
Yeah, but then how many generations were born in America?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever, you know, like that's a really interesting one. So yeah.
Anyways, wanna introduce yourself?
Oh yeah.
It's too formal, Reg.
No, it's nice. Yeah.
Informal.
Informal.
What's your vital statistics?
The vital statistics are: do I give my real name or do I give my
I don't know, too.
my nickname? Or are you guys gonna give your real names?
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, my name's Anthony Lawang, not Anthony Lawang.
Maybe we could like explain how you got your name or something.
Yeah. Well, most people know me as Lama, right?
Yeah.
Like you guys met me as Lama, yeah. My name's Lama because I used to look like the Dalai Lama.
Oh, with the bald
with the bald head, and the glasses. But you've seen a video of that, right?
Yeah.
But I got this name when I was 14, before that video was made.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like, dudes, I walked into the canteen. I had long hair like this back then. And then fucking the seniors, are we allowed to swear?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Well,
just you could just like think it out.
I guess friggin'
If you want to be as raw as you want.
Alright.
Authentic.
I guess I swear a lot.
I mean, in that context anyway, right?
Yeah.
Like,
But
you're
yeah,
not
you were
really saying like shit, fuck. Like,
Yeah.
Out of context.
Out of context, exactly right. So I guess you know, like
Is that recording already?
yes, it is recording. Yeah, even the audio is recording.
Yeah, we're good.
Cool.
Anyways, you were saying.
What was I saying?
You walked into the canteen.
Canteen, and the seniors from across the canteen. Our canteen at our high school was big. It's like a guy from across the canteen who knew me. It was like, "Oh look, it's the Dalai Lama," and the whole canteen laughed. Man. Like, you know, it's like a high school movie. You know, it's like, man, this doesn't happen in real life, but it just did. You know. And then when it came to entering a breakdance competition, they're like, "What's your b-boy name?" And then I was like, "Well, Lama's what dudes call me." And it was kind of a diss, but I kind of like that, you know, because Lama means monk,
Yeah.
right? And then Kung Fu, you know, the Kung Fu movies, it's like the Shaolin monks.
Yeah.
I'm not Shaolin, but I can just be a monk.
Yeah.
So it's kind of my original twist on that hip hop, you know.
So you embodied that like, I guess, this. And you're like, you know what? Yeah, like I'll take it.
It's like that Reggie, but we'll get into that.
I'm making my own sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like you guys use it as a diss, but I'll embody it.
Might as well, you know. Might as well.
That's exactly
like,
it.
It's funny because, like you said, you know, like Lama means monk.
Yeah.
And as a monk, you're sort of like, you know, a teacher.
Yeah.
You know? And being like, I wouldn't say old, but like being like, you know, that old sort of like vibe that you give off.
Yeah.
That's sort of like, it sort of transcends.
Yeah,
like,
man, that's
you know?
exactly it. Hey, it's really trippy because like at that age I wasn't thinking of being a teacher, and I became one. You know what I mean? Even my sister's a teacher at school now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't think she was thinking about that, and so that transcendence of that is like, yeah, it was almost like destined.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
one of those things. It was, yeah, it's trippy, man.
Yeah.
You know.
That's cool, man. That's cool because I never really thought of it in that sense.
Yeah.
I just
So
thought-
wait, Anthony was
Well,
why Anthony?
Anthony was, yeah, my parents. Apparently, I have a lolo named Antonio.
Oh, you nearly
Yeah.
got named same as
Yes.
Boss Mac.
Oh,
He's
is
Antonio.
Is he Antonio as well?
Yeah, he's
Well,
Antonio.
we might need to get him.
Yeah.
I could just
Oh my
imagine
god,
him.
we should have him as a guest.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
I should write some of these things
Yeah,
down.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so Antonio was my Lolo's name,
Mm.
and so Anthony would be the English version of Antonio,
Mhm.
which is actually technically Anthony,
Mm.
Anthony,
Anthony.
silent H
Yeah.
down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
with
then
their accent and
with
everything.
the English accent,
Anthony.
right?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
And then Tagalog is Anthony, you
Yeah.
know, right? So it works. And then my dad's name's Luisito, so I got given the middle name Luis. And as a kid, I thought Louise, you know, like
Yeah.
Anthony Louise Loang. No, it's Luis, you know, because Luisito is the little Luis,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? And then my sister's middle name is Louise.
Oh,
ISE, yeah, you know. And then yeah, Lawang, we don't really know the roots of that, but I think Lawang is Lawang with a different spelling, and it's Batangueño, I think,
Okay.
from an area near Lake Taal.
Mm.
And then yeah, then the government changed it to LAW. No, the Americans did. Cause
So Lao with the dash.
perhaps.
Yeah.
So we were thinking maybe we got Chinese heritage or something like that. But then you ask Chinese, have you ever heard of a surname Lao An, Lao Ang? They're like, nah. But then we have a tree in the Philippines called Lao An. It's like a Nara tree,
Yeah.
like rainforest tree,
Yeah.
big trees. So who knows? Maybe we're
Maybe.
tree people.
I'm a tree. I'm a tree.
I'm a tree person. So yeah,
Extranjero.
extranjero.
Oh,
man.
spell extranjero.
But it's cool
Hey,
because,
spell it first.
you know what?
Tree na lang.
Stranger.
Tree na lang pwede.
But it's cool to have sort of like backtrack all like with just a name, a single name.
Yeah.
Backtrack all that culture, all that sort of history.
It's like you almost told us your story already. Your life story. With just,
the name.
yeah.
Yeah.
just a name.
Yeah.
You know, it's really interesting, hey, because like I guess if there are people out there, I'm sure maybe you guys thought about it once. Things like this give you meaning, you know, any meaning, you know,
Yeah.
like, oh, you know, I do this, I do that. Oh, she does this, he does that.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got meaning to my life now,
Yeah.
you know, instead of, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we should turn it off.
Oh shit. That's alright, we're still recording.
It's okay, we're still recording.
We can chop this, and I can put like a little like dun 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 dun. dun.
Oh my god, we can do ASMR. Hi guys, so
Oh no wait, because the battery died.
ASMR.
This is gonna be an issue, but we'll just work it ghetto for now.
That's so good.
So yeah, well, I'll I guess continue on.
Mm.
Yeah, my name's originally. Actually, my real name is Marcus. Marcus Carmelo.
It's not Marcus, it's Marcos.
Marcus Carmelo.
Marcus.
Name Marcus came from a biblical name,
Yeah.
Saint Mark, in the Bible. And then Carmelo is sort of like a passed down name from my dad, because my dad's name is Richard Carmelo. So he doesn't really use Carmelo in his sort of everyday sort of encounter with people
Yes.
at work, family and everything. So like, and him being the oldest.
Yes.
Right, so this is how my family tree is sort of operated.
Yeah.
So my Lola, which is my grandma,
Yes.
my dad's mom, she's the oldest out of 12 siblings.
Right.
My dad is the oldest of 4 siblings, and I'm the
Oh.
oldest.
So he's the golden.
So I'm considered as the golden apo, which is golden grandchild.
Right.
Because I'm the first son of the first son of the first daughter.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Technically, my Lola is second in
Yeah.
line,
Yeah.
but it was told that the oldest one
Yeah.
sort of died early on.
Right.
So eventually, she became the ate,
The
the sort of like oldest.
oldest in the line.
So growing up, I grew up sort of alongside with my dad's youngest sister.
Yeah.
So sort of like, I think she's older than me by like 10, 15 years.
Mm.
But eventually all his cousins sort of like became my age.
Right.
Because we sort of like, you know, grew up.
Yeah,
sort
yeah.
of like along the same timeline. They're all 90s kids. Probably like late 80s as well.
Yeah.
So that's sort of like closer to my age group than
Yeah.
my own cousins in my dad's side.
Right.
So my own cousins, I'm like what, 24 now.
Mm.
They're less than 18 years old, all of them.
Right.
And being sort of like this kuya, there was sort of a I would say a clash in terms of like I'm this age to them, but they're not my cousins. They're like my titos and titas, right? So there's sort of that confusion growing up. And even when I do come back home, I always sort of hang out more with my youngest titas and titos.
Right.
They are my age.
Yeah.
I vibe more.
So they're kind of like kuyas and ates vibe, but they're your titos and titas.
Yeah, so in terms, because you know every family is different. Every Philippine, probably just Asian family is different in terms of the way they structure their family tree. So for us, blood doesn't really matter how old you are. Blood always is higher and it's more, I guess, respectful than age. So I do have titos and titas that I'm older than.
Yes.
But because they're my dad's cousins, I have to respect them in a way that, you know, I call them tita and tita.
Really interesting.
And some people, you know, in my that I sort of I come across with, Filipinos, Asians, they sort of have this confusing look and say, oh, why do you call your tita if they're old, like younger than you?
Yeah.
You know, because I do have titos and titas that are like 5 years old, 6 years old.
Yeah.
And that's because my Lola is sort of the same age as my dad.
Right.
And that's because me being
Just doing the maths, like.
and my dad's my dad's just
True.
my dad's turning 50 in a couple of years.
Yeah.
So I have a Lola that's, you know, the same age as my dad.
What?
But because I was sort of that like golden grandchild, being the first one in that lineage, I sort of crossed both generations.
Yeah. Yo.
You know, but it's different with my
Like a bridge.
yeah, it's different with my with my mom's side because she's a middle child, so I have older cousins, I have younger cousins, so
Yeah. Right.
it only works with my dad's side.
Interesting.
So that's pretty much where my name came from. So Mark is from a Bible name,
Yeah.
Saint Mark.
Yeah.
And Carmelo is just a passed down name.
And what's the middle one?
Carmelo. Yalo.
Yeah. It's on your Facebook. There's a different Pendrigal.
Pendrigal. That is my dad's last name.
That's
so
your dad's.
Marcus Carmelo is my first name. That is,
Ah.
you know, considered as my first name.
Yeah.
The middle name is my mom's maiden name.
Right.
Right. So it's Yalong.
Yeah.
And then obviously Pendrigal is the last name. My
Yeah.
dad's last name.
Right.
So that's pretty much like every time. And I had this problem growing up in primary school and high school when I moved here. Because, like, you know, everyone sort of had first name and then a last name. So just two names.
Yeah.
They never had the first name, middle name, and last name.
Yeah.
So every time I write my name, this is when I started.
Yeah.
You know, they would always question, well, what's the Y for, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So I kind of cut that off, sort of, you know, grade 6, grade 7, grade 8.
Yeah.
And then just Marcus Pedregal.
Right.
Just to sort of like fit in and not to sort of because there was a time where I kind of felt embarrassed having such a long name.
Yeah.
Just wrote Marcos Pedregal.
You're like
Yeah,
behind on
And
your
then
text.
my mom would always like get mad at me and like, why do you shorten your name?
Yeah.
You know, that's not just your name,
Yeah.
Marcos Pedregal. You
Yeah.
know, your name is Marcos Carmelo.
Yeah.
Why Pedregal?
Yeah.
And if you put that, you know, and if she's like, you know, if you grew up writing it that way, you know, it's gonna have any conflicts in, you know, documents, passports and all that.
Oh,
you know,
shit.
all these like, you know, professional stuff because you write your name that way, but you're known as this way because in your passport, in your birth certificate, and all these proper documents that identifies you as that person, your name is this. You know, so even like a tweak in the spelling and stuff, if it doesn't match like word for word, letter by letter in your proper document, they're gonna see you as a different person.
Yeah.
So eventually I just wrote Marcus Carmelo Pentigal, and then towards the end of high school I started adding the Y. It's just full name. Like I didn't even give a even with just writing essays and stuff, exams, write my full name. It doesn't matter because like sometimes there's like a given line on the test. I go past the line.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like, I don't even care anymore.
Yeah, no, that's good. It's really good.
And now looking back at it, the way I fill up forms and documents and stuff, like it makes sense.
Yeah. It does.
It makes sense because even in my passport, it's not even Y, as in like shortened Y. It's full Yalung.
Oh.
Marcus Carmelo first name,
Yeah.
Yalung second middle name, and then Pedregal surname.
Right.
So and even like I know people that has longer names, like three names, three first names, and then
wow. Yeah, there's some really long Filipino names.
But it's like
hey.
that's like that
crazy
how
long.
you identify yourself, not just the name, but like how people I guess the government, like just like public officials. Recognize you as this person, especially if you're going to and from different countries, different places. They can't just believe you. Oh yeah, what's your name? Like they can't just take your word for it. You gotta provide ID. So you gotta make sure that you're sort of professional. That's pretty much my struggle growing up with my name being the biggest one. And in my siblings, I have two siblings, younger ones.
Right.
So their names are Justine Claire and Charles Benedict.
Oh.
So we always have a second name.
Yeah.
My mom's name is Marvick, but she only has like one name.
Yeah.
Maiden name and then the surname. It's my dad. That's Richard Carmelo. So we all have a C in our name.
Right.
So,
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So Marcus Carmelo, Justine Claire, and Charles Benedict.
Well, that's like in our family. It's all L. L. So my sister Louise. I'm Luis. Dad's Luisito. So
just that's pretty much it. And then when I started work at St. Berg's, they sort of started calling me as Reggie.
Right. Yeah. How'd you get that name?
I still don't know.
No.
Okay. So I'll explain to you.
Let's follow that.
With Dan and Jed and Kane, they're cousins with Jel.
Yeah.
And this is the time when we started seeing each other. And then this was the time when I wasn't really, because I was still working at McDonald's when we met. So I didn't really have the need to apply at St. Berg's. But the time that I sort of met the three brothers, obviously they were so protective of her being, the cousin and everything. So I don't know if you've watched Bad Boys 2. There was a scene in Bad Boys 2 where Will Smith's character and the best friend interrogated this guy, picking up like the daughter for prom or for a movie or something or for a date.
I think so. Yeah.
Watch it.
I recall it.
So
it's right there.
Yeah.
Let's check this out. Gotta send me the link for this. Oh shit.
We ride together, we die together. Bad boys for life. We getting old, Mike. One of them young punks coming to take my baby out on the first date.
Oh, that's alright. I remember this.
So that's either Dan, Jed, or Kane.
Who the fuck are you? I'm Reggie.
Yeah, there you go.
What you doing here? Take on Megan. What? I came to take on Megan. How old are you? I'm 15 this minute. Motherfucker, you look dirty.
Yeah.
That's why they always say, "Nigga."
Because I was being a tall guy and everything.
Yeah.
So.
Fuck your problem. You think you know it all. You little young thundercat. You got joints on you. You smoke that shit? You trying to get my daughter high? You smoke that shit? Nigga, who that is, the dog?
It's Reggie.
Who the fuck is Reggie? Can't take Megan out. What you want, nigga? I'm here to take his daughter out. What's your name? Reggie. Well, I heard a motherfucker say your name Reggie. You want to take Megan out? How old is you? 15. Shit, nigga, you at least 30. You can fight. Oh, you motherfucker, you can't fight. You can't just Mike. No, I want to know if the nigga, somebody gonna take my niece out. I want to know if the nigga can fight. Somebody might come say something. The nigga can't fight. She can't.
Tim, look at Reggie there.
Yeah,
was that you when they were interrogating you?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like they started it off with just a joke with everyone. So I wasn't part of the shop back then. And like you, when they called you Llama, that sort of became a running gag. Even when I started St. Berg's, Reggie and all that, and then I'm just like, I might as well call myself Reggie at work, you know?
Yeah.
Everyone calls me like, you know, when I say, oh, what's your name, Marcus? Someone at work will be like, who the fuck's Marcus?
Yeah.
You know?
And up to this day,
Yeah.
I don't even call him Marcus, not unless he's in trouble.
Yeah.
But yeah, saying Marcus is just weird.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
Reggie
Like,
is just, you know.
You've taken ownership of this Reggie
because
name.
I might as well, you know, like
Yeah.
this is what they know me as. This is what
Yeah.
they classify me as.
Yeah.
I'll take even like signing deliveries and other stuff like Reggie.
Reggie.
Yeah.
Reg or like,
Reg.
You
just
know.
simple things like
Yeah.
going out, like, can I have a name for your order?
Yeah, Reg.
Like, just
Reg.
Reg.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
very
sick.
it's very
That's
rare that I tell my or say my name is Marcus.
Mm.
My own set of friends knows me as Marcus. And sometimes she sort of gets confused.
Oh yeah,
And there's
that-
times
that
where
clash.
I have a mini identity crisis. It's like, wait, why am I feeling my name as Reggie? So, but you know, that like you with the llama stuff, you know, that's sort of how I yeah.
That's
Reggie.
that's really interesting.
Yeah.
I need to take some notes. I'm gonna grab some papers, but
Yeah.
because how you've become used to being Reggie,
Yeah.
it's like I've become used to Llama, and then you have this little identity crisis.
Yeah.
It's like, hang on a second, my real name's Anthony.
Yeah.
But then people are like, who? You know, it's like,
Yeah.
yo, what? Your real name's Anthony?
Yeah.
And then they like, kind of laugh or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Anthony.
So, Anthony. That's,
Yeah. But it's cool because that's like that the Reggie also ties down with you know the culture that I've had with Saintbergs, the relationship that
Yeah,
I've
the
had
whole
with,
thing. It's that whole
You know.
kuya protective vibe where
Yeah,
I'm the
yeah.
only girl.
it's Boss Reg.
Yeah.
Boss
So,
Reg. Yeah.
even on my name tag as a manager, they did call me
Reggie.
the fucking name is Reggie. And I messaged it to them, I'm like, you really had to put Reggie on it. And he goes, well, I don't know you as any other name. Like,
Sure.
what is
You
your
know-
other name?
You know,
Sure.
in a way, when you look at it, it's like a responsibility that they've put on you. It's like, you know,
It's a
like you're
title.
dating my cousin, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna call you Reggie.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
It's like
Right.
so this thing where if
you fuck it up.
Yeah.
Yo.
Because if it was Marcus, right, it would
Yeah.
be just sort of like, you know,
Yeah.
we don't really care about you, sort of thing. But it's more of just like that respect.
What do they call it? A term of endearment.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
In
like
a
a,
way,
it's
yeah,
like
in
a,
a
you know,
way.
it's like dai, indai, or you know,
Yeah.
toto, or
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
nene, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
in its own way for work.
Yeah.
You know, you dating my cousin, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's sort of thing that it's like they've classified me as that.
Yeah.
Right. It's not just to sort of like make fun of me. That's one thing. But it's also
The main
like,
thing.
but it's also because you know, like she said, like she's family. So I'm not coming here just a regular sort of worker. I'm coming here with that responsibility and not just for work, but also with the family. And
Yeah.
you know, it's like, you know, you fuck her up, you don't just fuck like the family. You know, like you work as well. So it's more of just it's because for you sort of embodied it like with your creative arts.
Yeah.
For me, it's the different side.
Yes.
It's, yeah, just family and work and
Family,
everything.
friends.
Yeah.
That's fresh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I thought you knew.
Nah, I never knew until
Yeah.
now.
That's why I don't relate Reg to any of my personal stuff, like, you know, because obviously the personal branding that's me. I don't wanna like I guess divide those two because who I am at work, I'm just doing my work. Who I am outside of work, that's me.
Yeah.
You know, whatever, whether I do photography, whether, you know, my friends know me.
Yeah.
That's me. I wanna I guess embody that. I wanna keep that intact.
Mm.
And not to say that Reggie sort of is a negative connotation for me. I've embraced it. But obviously that's for the working environment. That's for the people.
Yes.
You know, that
The-
sort of I guess the circle that we've sort of included, me and Joe. The
Yes.
family, people at work.
Yes.
You know, sometimes her friends, she introduces me as Reg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, especially because I just want to keep that sort of separate. Because I don't want to cross and have that confusion everywhere else.
Yeah, I think it's important.
I have this sort of mentality where if this sticks going forward and you want to rebrand yourself, it's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Especially with your DJ Llama and Llama Rock and all
Yeah,
that. Right?
yeah.
If you sort of rebrand, change everything about your name.
Yeah.
Your name says a lot about who you are.
Yeah.
So.
No, this is the truth.
Yeah.
This is the truth.
So for me, I wanted to keep my real name for me, not just for my own sake, but also moving forward in the future.
Yeah.
I want to keep my identity as Marcus. You know, I don't want to have that identity confusion with everyone else, and even for myself. Even with I guess professional. When I go like professional with the business and everything. When you change from Reggie to Marcus, there might be sort of this privacy or security reasons.
Yeah.
Those stuff comes up.
Yeah, I agree.
So if you want to decide for a name, and names are a big thing because copyright is a big thing in the industry.
In the industry, hard out.
So if you wanna make your name out there, you wanna be able to have a name, a brand name, or I guess your own sort of self-image be attached to this name or word.
Yeah.
You want it to be able to sort of, I guess, convey something that's like, oh, you're Marcus, but Reggie's like a different sort of thing, right?
Yeah. That's the thing. Hey, actually, now that you bring that up, and I realize this podcast could be called Names, right? Or Pangalan or whatever.
Yeah.
But because I'm trying to do a social media thing as well, right? So let's say that's a business platform I'm trying to go in. Is that I think the name that most people know me by, Lama, is also the pigeonhole that I got stuck in. Oh, Lama, you can't sing, or more like you're not allowed to sing, or you're not allowed to do this. It's very weird, And then so it's this question of do I fight that? Do I battle that and prove that hey, Lama is a guy who wears lots of hats, or because it's on social media, it's just a whole separate account. Like
what do you feel about it? What do you feel like having that Lama name? DJ Lama Rock or whatever, right? But having been able to touch different creative fields through that embodiment of Lama.
I feel like I've already done that in terms of like real life interactions, but in terms of like the broader thing for this platform, let's say YouTube, or social media, I kind of feel like attention span's so short. I guess the question, a simple way to put it is, do I put all the eggs in one basket or do I spread them out? Because I can put all the eggs in one basket and then get however many things I need to get, let's say followers or contacts. But when they're looking at your palette, for example, which is your portfolio,
it's all over the place.
It's all over the place. It's like, oh, this guy writes like deep and meaningfuls. Oh, but then this guy's a comedian, funny guy, like then this guy's a dancer. Oh, but he's a DJ. Oh, what is this guy?
Yeah.
Some people can't fathom that. It's easier in standard business because like I'm going to St. Berg's, for example, for burgers. I'm going Vietnamese for Vietnamese food. I'm going, you know what I mean? But when it's for people and services, maybe it needs to be separate. That's the thing I'm questioning at the moment. I'm exploring that, and I guess also Reggie's who you are, Jel's who you are, but you're also Marcus, you're also Jenilyn, just like I'm also Anthony. And then like maybe people who support Lama Rock already, Lama, don't fuck with this kind of stuff. So then when they see it's like, oh, he's doing that, and then that be mentally or even physically, can that be like a blockage? You know what I mean? I don't want to think that way. I don't want to think negatively that way, but
it's also good to have a think of that.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, do you feel like Anthony and Lama are two different people? Do you feel that way, or do you see it in that way?
I see it all as one, of course, but
maybe just like parts of you where you show what
you know what
I mean?
It's like a way for me to reveal a certain aspect of myself. Like for example, what I posted in our chat to Denise, knowing that you guys were gonna read it, I only did that because it was kind of like a comfortability.
Like how you are gonna be with your friends, like it's not the same way how you act with your family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly that. That perhaps, that's something I wouldn't say or show or talk about to other people. So I feel like if I'm, for example, one of the names for my gaming is Tikoi Tux. Because when I was a kid, right, I used to say toko 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 toko, and then toko evolved into 3 different things. Tikoi Tux. And then so I associate that nickname. It's almost like a Reg, you know, or like a Toto or a Nene or an Indai, whatever nicknames there are. That's like my nickname for me as a child. So what did I do as a kid? I did kids things. Play games, play toys, draw. That, I'm a different it's almost like I'm a different person when I'm in that mind state. You know? So it's very strange.
But is that sort of a conscious thing where, yes, I'm Llama, therefore this is what Llama does. I do gaming, therefore this is my name because this is what I do as a gamer. And as Anthony, you do a separate thing, and you want. Is it sort of like for you like a conscious thing where you don't wanna be this one whole being that encompasses everything, or you wanna be like 3-4 separate like people?
These are the questions I'm asking myself. Hey,
because like in order to, I guess, attract different audiences and followers, right? You know, Llama as Llama has a different, I guess, engagement with different audiences. And Tikoi Talks, like you said, has a different, right? But this is all in just one person. But you
know what's interesting? It's like I'll have conversations with some friends, and I guess and family, and this is probably why how can I say I am thinking this way. It's like it's just how it is. Some people don't really get along with other people, don't mess with other people, that's not their scene, etc. That quite naturally it was almost like, for example, one person was to come in, or when you guys arrived there's already another person here. You guys might be, not saying you do, but maybe you guys are like, well, who the hell's this guy? And then you don't really mess with that dude, just vibe wise. So it's kind of like from personal experience like that, wearing different hats, meeting different people, and trying to bring them together. Sometimes it doesn't work, you know? And then I just figured...
You gotta touch base.
Yeah, you know? So just, touching base on all sorts of different things. And then maybe...
meshing into one.
It'll mesh into one in certain areas, you know? Like, for example, if there was a name that I had... Okay, let's say... So you guys don't know this, but... my DJ name is Fave Son or Fab Son. So it comes from favorite son. That used to be my dad's nickname for me as a teenager. It's like, oh, how come you cook lasagna for your favorite son? It's because he's your favorite son. Where's my lasagna? Where's your daughter's lasagna? You know? So I kind of embodied that favorite son and made that the DJ name because DJ's job is to like please the crowd. Right, it's kind of like a mama's boy, you know what I mean? Or I actually flip this on its head right now. Like the crowd comes to see you, and you feel good about that, you know. Like it's kind of like a celeb status kind of thing that Lamrock isn't, you know. But as a DJ, it's like, oh, we're gonna go see Fave Son DJ. They know me as Llama, but it's what I embodied there, you know what I mean? And I guess because of haters, not haters, but maybe just my insecurities. It's like, oh, this guy, he DJs and he dances, he does all of these things. And then it kind of brings an unwanted energy, you know. But if you come in as Fave Son and have your own network and market as Fave Son, they don't need to know that you also dance, you know, or that you're also Llama Rock who's got this whole other history. Weird. Strange. Very strange.
But in that note as well, and I've noticed that you put a lot of, I guess, meaning to the names. So like context, and not just because you name yourself that. Just for the sake of having a name. But you said with the Fab Son and the Llama Rock and you have a lot of, I guess, history and sort of thought into having that name. Is that sort of and maybe I'm wrong. Is that sort of I guess strategic in the way you do that to sort of keep like people guessing and like having this mysterious vibe? Oh, your DJ is Fab, blah blah blah. But I also saw you
Yeah.
You know, like
As
b-boying.
Yeah,
the other day,
yeah.
blah blah.
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know? And it's like you were called as you know, b-boy llama.
Yeah, yeah.
Lamara, yeah.
I
Like
think,
yeah, you have those types of people that kind of cross sort of I guess creative field
yeah, man.
that you know, yeah.
I do, and I think to answer your question, it's only become strategic recently because of social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like, how do I engage this? The algorithm's always changing, whatever, you know how it is, right?
Yeah.
Branding, etc., etc. I never thought of myself as a brand. And if you've seen if we'd met like 5 years ago and you'd seen my old Instagram, it's like 4,000 posts, you know, in a span of 3 years. You know, while I was living in Japan, before I moved to Japan, etc., etc. And I just shared, you know, it was just like a natural thing. I like to post, I like to write, yeah. But yeah, it was convoluted. And then I started getting people telling me, Lama, like you post a lot about philo food, like spam and shit, but I think people want to see who Lama is. I guess some of us, like, we look at our social media that way, like, oh, I'm gonna go see this guy because he's gonna have a funny post. But as soon as you don't see that funny post, you just skim past it. You know what I mean? And that's nothing wrong with that, but yeah, I guess, why am I using social media in the first place these days? For business. What is my business? I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's become strategic these days. But originally, and I guess physically, there's only one dude here.
Yeah.
There's only one dude here. So it's almost just like, yeah, I'm that guy that you see at the supermarket. I'm that guy you see at Time Zone.
Yeah.
I'm that guy you see at St. Berg's. But I'm different to whoever sees me at that.
And when they see you at that time,
yeah, you know, how many people have opportunity to, like, let's say, see you guys when it's just you two at your place, you know, or outside of work.
Yeah.
It's this weird thing. I don't know. It just naturally happened like that.
It's cool because like with me as well. Like I said, you know, work is separate to, you know, what I want to do personally and what my passion is about, and you know, like some people know at work that, you know, I studied film and all that, but outside of work, there's really no association with people from work. In terms of what I want to do, you know, it's some like this collaboration and all that. You know, there's only a certain amount of people that I sort of collaborate with that works in the same industry as me.
Yes.
Even so, at the same workplace as me.
Yes.
And that's because they know me before work. You know, and it just so happens that we work the same place. With that as well, like, and this is what I did with McDonald's as well. Sometimes, you know, I separate work friends with I guess personal friends.
Yes.
And it just works that way because, you know, I know and I've read and people told me about this as well, that you don't really need to tell a lot of people what you're into.
Yeah.
You know, you want to keep privacy for yourself.
Exactly.
And you know, I guess a number of people that you really trust and you know that will help you grow. Because half the time people are just there to be curious, and people are there to, I guess, just be nosy about what you do. Because I don't know what people do in their spare time.
Exactly.
But with that being said as well, like, you know, people that I personally collaborate with, they don't know what I do for work. They don't know what I like, you know, what I work as, or you know, they don't know anything about work as well.
Yes.
So it goes hand in hand. Because I am different when I'm at work. But I am different when, you know, when I'm collaborating with people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And to I guess to touch base on what you said, having that separation sort of, I guess, keeps people I guess limited in what you want to show to them.
Yes.
And you know, you pick and choose different audiences for what you wanna, I guess, show them in terms of, you know, you wanna DJ, you know, these are the people that you sort of wanna vibe with in the DJ scene. You wanna b-boy, blah blah, right?
That's it.
So there's a lot of, I guess, the way I see it, it's not a bad thing to wear different hats.
Yes.
But it's also you just don't want to lose yourself being three different people.
Exactly.
You want to have the authenticity alongside that, you know.
That's exactly it.
Like you may be, you know, you may be a DJ, you may be a writer, you may be a gamer, but what is common in those three things, you know, and you touch base with a lot of different audiences separately. But the way I see it, you want to have a sort of like a core.
Yeah.
A core with those three that connects to who Anthony, Lawang
Is yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
that is exactly it.
Because you sort of wanna you have this, I guess. And I was watching this documentary about this guy. He didn't identify as a photographer or a filmmaker or a creator, right? But being a creator, you don't want to just cater for what the audience wants you to give them, because as a consumer, as an audience, right, you want to say, oh, why is this guy doing this? I saw him, I followed him because of this, and now he's doing something different, and sometimes you don't vibe with it, and that's fine, but you want to stay true to who you are at the very core of yourself, and you're a creator.
That's
whatever being a creator embodies. I guess that's where that three different genre comes in. But at the heart of everything, as a creator, you want to stay true to what makes you feel good, and being that genuine. Bringing that genuine, I guess, ideas through your work will, bring in genuine people. That's it. Regardless of, what you do and how different you do things. Yes. And maybe one day you do photography, and then next thing, you're a DJ, blah, blah. Yes, yes. Being that genuine, authentic person will bring in authentic viewers and authentic followers. That's and exactly. It's more of just, doesn't matter what you do, doesn't matter how many hats you wear, but as long as you're authentic to yourself and know to yourself, hey, this is what I am. Because you don't want to get lost in that, waters of this is what I am, but I am also this, but I am also this, and I also do this. Yeah, exactly. You don't wanna question yourself. Wait, no. Yeah. You wanna be to yourself, hey, I am this. Yes. And I can do this. Yes. But at the heart of it all, this is who I am.
That's exactly it. Bro, it's
fine.
It's so
fine
true.
Because you see a lot of, actors that, you don't know that's been in musical theaters. Yes. That's into like a lot of, I guess, stuff outside of what you see them
as. Exactly.
And it's fine because, these people, they identify as actors, but they also have personal hobbies, and some people follow them for personal hobbies, but they don't know that they're actors.
Exactly.
But at the end of it all, it's not like, hey, I'm an actor. I want to show myself as an actor, but I want to also show myself as as a BMX rider.
That's exactly it.
It's like for me, it's just like I'm just gonna do this.
Yes.
If you identify me as this, then that's fine.
Yes.
If you identify me as this, then that's fine.
Fine. Exactly.
But I identify myself as this, therefore I'm gonna produce all these types of content. Yes. Because this is what I'm passionate about. This is what I like to put out. And maybe you know me as Reggie, as at work, being all this goofy guy, blah blah. Then that's fine. And that's me at work. But I'm not gonna sort of say, hey, this is me as well. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's exactly it. Yeah. It allows. I think things like this allow a person to like explore the spectrum that they are. Because you probably have friends or know people that are kind of like any situation, they're just kind of like closed off. And I think they probably have a good reason to be like that. Yeah. But. Yeah, it's kind of sad, when, like, for example, imagine all the people who feel like they can sing or dance or party, but they don't do it because of whatever reasons, you know what I mean? It's kind of sad, right? Yeah. And then on the extreme other end is like, here's this person who's like 20 different characters and then he's kind of like lost himself, like, and I think, like, it'd be interesting. We might need, do you guys know any psychologists or anything? Like pros or anyone studying that stuff?
Probably not.
I did it in high school, but
high school,
forgot everything.
Same.
Yeah.
It's just imagine like people who suffer from schizophrenia or bipolar, and how many artists suffer from things like that. Why it is, maybe because they are 20 different characters and they don't
got lost already.
They got lost in it. You know what I mean? Like they're so full on that they lost themselves.
And it's also a dangerous thing when you sort of get lost in trying to please what the audience wants you to do. Because that's when like you getting lost happens because you're too sort of like focused on, hey, I want to
What
get
they
this
want.
audience,
But
so
not what
like,
you want.
Yeah,
And it's not even you.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where the authenticity comes in. It's like, hey, this is what I do. You guys. It's not being cocky or being being like full of yourself. It's just being confident on what you can do and what you cannot do.
Exactly.
And being able to say, hey, I'm a travel vlogger, but I'm not a gamer. Maybe I will stream a few games here and there. But in order, I guess, for you to change yourself from a travel vlogger to a gamer, just to, I guess,
please an audience,
right?
Yeah,
it's hard because that's like, you're a basketball player, but you're trying to play pool.
yeah.
You're
happy with Michael Jordan, yeah.
It's hard because if people can do it, that's fine. But for the average number of people that just wants to do one thing, it's hard to be a jack of all trades, master of none.
Yes.
And this is what you said before. Like, do you put your eggs in one basket or do you spread it out?
Exactly.
Yeah? It's good to have.
Just make more eggs.
It's
Why?
Right, make more eggs.
Make more eggs.
Make more eggs.
Look, I've tried, guys. It's difficult just to make one.
But
Number one, make more eggs.
Yeah.
What's that thing? Sorry. It's too serious. What's that thing that they say? Humayo kayo at magparami.
Yeah.
So make more eggs.
This is it. This is true.
But yeah,
it's a good one.
Like,
Go.
Make a t-shirt. Go for it. Go for
like,
it.
it's fine to be knowledgeable of a lot of things. But if you sort of spread out your time and say, hey, I can be a mechanic, but I can also be, an electrician. I can also be an engineer. You don't have enough time to learn everything to the detail.
Exactly.
Because you're too busy learning different things.
Instead of focusing on one or two.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So it's better to, do one thing that you're really good at and be really good at it.
Rather than
spreading your time.
Yeah, way too thin. Because I feel like that. I've come across a lot of people like that, and I may come across like that too, But if you think about it, like where we're sitting now, like there's a dance floor underneath, and then we've got all this equipment here.
Yeah.
It's like if I treated my days like going to school, you got let's go high school. It's easier, yeah. Period 1. You got maths. Period 2, you got English. Then recess. Or let's say then another whatever.
Yeah.
Then you got recess. Then you got a double period of arts. And then after that, double period of whatever else. And then that's distributed according to the school.
Yeah.
And their programming, it's distributed evenly. Like, or in a right way over a 1 week or 2 week period.
Yeah.
So then imagine you change those periods to what your interests are and what you do. Let's say, you could do that, In reality, you got to go out and work and do other things, But then you dedicate yourself to that discipline. Because school's a discipline, right? That then when I walk in here, okay, I might start with stretching and then physical exercise. So that's my PE, right? And then because I'm already here, then boom, I can go, oh, you guys are coming. Could do podcasts. Then as soon as you guys go, I can edit it or I can DJ.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but then that's because I've already been doing 20 years of this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Now it's actually the reverse. Now it's gone from being too spread out to just now consolidating everything.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But some people actually work better with doing multiple things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whereas
multitasking.
some people can only focus one thing at a time.
Yeah.
So it just depends on. I'm not saying this is a one-time, all-time sort of thing. It just depends on the person,
Exactly.
But I guess the general rule is, if you want to be really good at one thing or like at everything, try getting good at one thing first.
Exactly.
And then work your way slowly, because who doesn't love a person who's really good at everything?
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah.
Like very very I guess multi-skilled.
Multi-skilled.
Right?
Yeah.
Even businesses and companies, they
I was
like
about to
those
say,
people.
yeah.
It's like, you're good at just one thing, really good at one thing, but this person's good at multiple things.
Yes. It's a requirement these days.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is, if you're too sort of spread out in time, you're just like, fuck, I gotta do this now. I gotta do this.
Yeah.
Now I want to be this. I want to be that.
Yeah.
It's like, if it's good to I guess spread out your time, as long as there's sort of one common thing that binds everything.
Right, everything together.
You know, it's like you want to be a chef and then you want to study basketball.
Yeah.
Like you're all over the place.
Yeah,
It's like, well,
yeah.
what are you really are?
What are you trying to do?
Yeah, what are you
That's
trying to be?
exactly it.
You
No,
know,
that is exactly.
it's like, and that's how the way I see it. You know,
Mhm.
maybe some people would disagree, and that's fine.
Mhm,
And maybe it works with other people. You know, like
Mhm.
you don't want to be stuck in the same industry.
mhm,
You know, because it reminds them. So having that difference in environment
Mm.
drastically sort of gives them that focus.
exactly.
You know, but I guess that's a different topic altogether.
No, we'll definitely need to chop up that
Yeah.
topic again. If I could just sort of like wrap that one up,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
that's cool. I guess it's like variety is the spice of life,
Yeah.
you know, and then
But you always come back to Marcus. You always
yeah, come back to Anthony,
you know?
exactly,
Yeah.
and that from that that variety, like at the end of the day, it's that one person that's doing it all. So what is it for me? Probably for you guys as well. It's art. It's art. It's a art. Being an artist is like self-expression. So like you've done 20 years of breakdancing, or you've done 20 years of whatever, or 10 years of this, like that's your 10,000 hours already done.
Yeah.
And then now it's like where I'm at is like I'm scratching my head. It's like, how can I make this work for me? I have before, but I'm not 20 anymore. I'm not young. I can't travel the world, throw my body around. I feel injured these days. It's like, I'm getting old. So what's the remix now?
Yeah.
How do I keep going with this? And I think already what we're doing now is one of those ways.
And also
what I mean?
like it's good to also for people like you who knows like what it felt like before. Now it's like remix, like you said, remix, right? So try different new things. Try new things that you haven't tried before.
Yes.
Or like some things that sort of just keeps you going, adapting, overcoming. You know, it's like this is what I'm limited with. How can I work around those limitations and not let it hinder me?
Exactly.
To move forward.
Exactly right, man.
So
Closing conclusions.
that's pretty much like from the names, that identifying and belonging sort of thing, and not just for people to identify you, but for yourself as well.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
that's
that-
exactly it.
That self-identification, that self-awareness
Yeah.
of who you are. I
Yeah.
think that's the very core of everything.
Everything, yeah.
I feel
Just-
like the lesson here is never lose yourself.
Mm.
Never lose yourself.
Yeah, that's it. And
However, you think that they like one part of your personality, never get lost in that kind of like vibe.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, they like me as like the funny me, so I'll always try to be funny.
Yeah.
Even though
Yeah.
deep inside you're like crying yourself to sleep at night and you're depressed and all of that.
You're
shit.
you're the clown, the Pierre.
Yeah. But then when you go home, you're like,
yeah.
It's,
So never
it's
lose
more about
yourself.
just being authentic. Just
Yeah.
being genuine, even to yourself. Because self-awareness is a really big thing, especially with all the mental health happening.
I agree.
But I don't want to touch base too. It's gonna go over.
The-
but
That's
just
another
being
one.
able to be authentic, because that authenticity will show to the audience.
That's
And it
exactly
will-
and to be honest, people like authenticity
Yeah.
more than fake.
I wouldn't say
That's it.
I wouldn't
That's
say
exactly it.
original, but authentic.
Authentic,
Yeah,
yeah.
Authentic
Yeah.
is
Being-
much a better word.
Authentic.
Being yourself.
Yeah.
Authentic.
Being
Yeah.
yourself, not being someone else. Yeah, that's one thing why it's hard for me, I guess.
Yeah.
And then maybe we should get Jenilyn to tell her story as well.
Yeah.
Actually, this is a good segue, right? Is that at work, you're Reggie, you're Jel, right? We touched on the idea of like how you do things for other people, you want, or how you want to be perceived, or how they perceive you, and you got to put that up all the time. Kind of lost what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But it's on that level that it's kind of like, you don't want to be that person all the time. You don't want to be that person all the time, or you are not that person all the time.
Yeah.
That's when it's like once you get out of your car or out of public transport and walk into that building, then that's who you are.
Yeah.
But it's not the only person you
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
And again,
Yeah.
it comes down to it being authentic
Yeah.
Yeah.
and just wraps everything up.
Yeah.
So
So much, man.
that's it. And to our final speaker of the day.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go, Risha. So my full name is Jeneline Sarsona Dairit. Jeneline came up from my mom's name and my dad's name. My mom's name is Mary Jean. And my dad's name is Rolando, short for Rolly. So, Jean, and Rolly, Lin. So, it's kind of like a stretch, but apparently I was supposed to be Nicole. I'm like, oh my god, I'm glad you didn't get Nicole.
I could see you as a Nicole for some reason.
I feel like Jeneline is a really nice and unique name because I get a lot of, oh my god, like, Jeneline, I've never heard of that name. And I don't really see that name as a common name, not even in the Philippines. Well,
Jeneline.
Unless that artist, that celebrity, but yeah.
What do you think? Because I know another Filipina named Jeneline, one of my sister's friends. Actually, I think I know 2 or 3, including yourself.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I know like Jenny or like Jeneline, but with a whole different spelling.
Yeah.
More N's, more Y's.
Jeneline in its name is not that common, but Jenny.
That's
very
Lin. But Lin is very very specific.
But Jeneline in its own, it's very uncommon.
It's very unique. And so Jel came from like, it's my like nickname as a child. My mom used to spell it as Gel. I don't know how, I don't know why, but I think it's from like the hair gel. And I used to get picked on. It's like, oh, gel, like hair gel. I'm like, you're lame.
Yeah.
But yeah, so people at work call me Jel.
Yeah.
I think it's because my cousins call me Jel, being in the family circle. So.
See, it's funny though, because like people she's associates with, they call her Jel. But if I tell my friends, oh yeah, I'm gonna pick up Jel today, they go, who's Jel? It's like a different girl for them, a different person. It's like, oh, Jel, Jen for them.
And it's cool how like Jel from home kind of got shifted to work as well at TATSBEYS. Like, and I don't really introduce myself as Jeneline anymore. I feel like it's too formal, like Marcus.
Yeah.
I always say I'm Jel with like family, like really close friends, or just Jen. I feel like Jeneline is just too much. Too formal.
What is the spelling of Jel?
Jel.
Jel.
That's her nickname though.
Yeah,
that's
but
a
like
nickname.
Jeneline is Jenilyn.
Yeah.
But like even then, that name with that spelling is very uncommon.
Yeah.
Like it's not that, I guess, popular.
Yeah.
You know.
Sometimes it gets extended. You know, there's like, oh, have you cleaned your room, like Janelina or something like that. Like Marcus Carmelo. Shit's about to go down.
Exactly.
When your name is like,
I don't know.
Oh shit,
I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
So guys, we gotta wrap up the podcast.
Yeah. But you know, I guess names do sort of not just identify with who you are, but also shows what your culture is.
Yes.
What your history is.
And it's so cool. It's just a single word. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it just shows how much you are.
There's so much importance in it that maybe this talk today is kind of like.
It's a good sort of start.
Yeah, and a good reminder.
Yeah.
Hey, names are important.
Yeah.
You know, I guess. Wow, we keep on opening up like the things we can. It's good. This is really good. We talk about this. All that's missing is some drinks.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
We gotta set it up. We gotta set up at a good
Next
time when we don't have anything
Next
on.
time I'll wear my chinelas.
That's
my
it.
duster.
That's it. Yeah,
Your
man.
shorts.
That's it. We'll keep it.
But like that's what they say when like you gotta keep looking back to your roots and never forget.
Forget the roots.
Where you came from.
That's exactly.
Because you got your name from your lolo. You got your name from your dad. You got your name from
Yeah, and then they call it, when you put two names together, they call it a portmanteau. It's a French word which means to merge two names or more names together. So Jeneline is a portmanteau of your mum and dad's name with additional like letters. And then the other two names.
Sarzona is the maiden name. Dad's name.
And then, Have you guys gone as far as like trying to research what your surnames mean? Not yet.
Not really. I just know that Dairit is not really like common.
Yeah, I was about to ask.
It's not really common.
Yeah, Dairit.
Same with Sarzona.
Mine's more direct to the Spanish lineage.
Yeah.
So it's got a Spanish touch.
To it. Yeah. Pedregal.
Pedregal, yeah.
Pedregal, sorry.
Pedregal, yeah.
Pedregal. You know, I think those things are really interesting. We could come back in 5 years and be like, or 1 year, or
but it's good
next
as well.
week.
Like you touched base on just to wrap everything. You know, like your name is sort of like a reminder of who you are.
Yeah.
But it's also a good thing to remember when you're moving forward as well.
Yes.
When you pass it down.
Yeah. Not just passing it down, but also like learning how to be authentic. It's like if you identify yourself as this person, you'll never lose yourself.
That's it.
Yeah.
Taking ownership.
Yeah.
You know, and going with it. You know. By the way, you know, we don't need to wrap up just yet.
No.
Yeah. You know, if you guys want to continue talking.
Mainit pa lang pa yun.
Yeah. It's good vibes.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? So I'm the only. So my dad's got 3 sisters. My dad's the only boy, and I'm the only child,
Right.
and I'm a girl. So that's kind of like a frustration, because I can't pass it down. Well, I have another sister, but she's a girl as well. So
yeah.
that's kind of like a frustration. Well, not frustration, but my grandma's like, maliit talaga yung mga dairit.
Yeah,
You know?
right. You know,
Because I can't pass it down.
you know what's interesting about that though? I've been thinking about that too.
And wait, my cousins are all boys.
Right.
So, and they have,
So they
so they can't really pass it down.
yeah, can't pass the
Because their moms
surname.
are dairit and they're boys. So
And so they're gonna pass down their dad's surname.
yeah, their dad's surname.
But what's interesting, right? For example, in Indonesia, they don't have surnames.
Oh.
Maybe legally they do, but their surnames are their dad's names. You know, so like for example, I could be wrong, but my friend's surname is his dad's name. So that's how the Indonesian culture is. You know, I don't know if it's from the Muslim side or the indigenous side, but then you think about Jewish.
Yeah.
If you are half Jewish, right? You're only Jewish if your mum is.
Really?
Yeah, because and then genetics and science, if that's truth, if that's fact, is science supposed to be fact, that the genetics are passed through the Y chromosome, which is the mum.
The mom.
So it's really interesting because it's two opposite sides.
Yeah.
So we value like our surnames,
Yeah.
you know. So like for your family,
Yeah.
you know, Dairit wants to be passed on,
Yeah.
but then there's only 2 girls in your
Yeah.
family, so you can't pass the Dairit.
Yeah.
You know, so the only way you can keep it is if you keep it as a maiden name
Yeah.
and give that to your kids.
Or you
Or
have the
some-
option of keeping it.
Yeah,
Just
or
keep
some
it.
people
You have
go
that option now.
Yeah.
whatever, right?
Dairit, you know.
Like they opt to not take the husband's last name fully.
Yeah.
And there's been cases like that where they say, hey, why is your last name different to your husband's name?
Yes.
And they feel like they don't want to take ownership of that.
Yes.
They feel like for who they are, they don't want to be considered, oh yeah, I am my husband's wife. You know, they don't want to be considered as I am my own person.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
We have a
Yeah, it's
question.
very
If you
important.
have a child,
Yeah.
do you have the option to give them either the mom's last name or the...
Yeah, well, my daughter does.
Ah.
But then, so my daughter's surname's actually her her mom's stepdad's surname. Because in Japan,
You can just give whatever.
you can really technically you can just write whatever you want on a birth certificate. Because what happens in Japan is the way their I guess social system works is if, for example, you use your surname and it's part of a Japanese registry, then you get all the Japanese benefits. So there, it means a lot more to use someone else's to use a let's say legit surname than a different one, because you get different benefits. Very interesting like that, you know.
Wow.
And I could expand on that in terms of like what I read about like some trippy, you know, like past life and things like that. But yeah, you know, for example, you guys know Borgie, yeah?
Yeah.
Borgie is one guy that's made me value Anthony more, because he goes, man. So, you know, dude, you know how he
He's
talks.
always like
He's
that.
always high,
He's
high
always high.
vibes.
He's like, what's going on? Who is
like,
it?
whoa, yeah?
Yeah.
He's like, man, it's like, you're like the 5th Anthony I know, and all of them, all my Anthony friends are like sick dudes. You know? Like, your name means something, you know? Like, and then, you know, there's like, whether you believe in astrology or certain things, there's places where you can buy like those cheap $2 shops.
Yeah.
It's like Anthony, and then the meaning of Anthony,
Yeah.
you know? Like, yeah, it's very interesting.
It's funny when you touch base with the Japanese culture, because I don't know this like full on, but I know or heard of that family names in Japan is very sacred.
Yeah.
It's very respectful.
Yeah.
You know, if you're sort of, I guess, included in this family, you know, there's sort of like a power.
Yes.
A power behind it, like
Yeah.
a hierarchy.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
this sort of like years and years of culture and history with that just name.
Yeah. That's
know?
exactly it, man. It's funny.
And I don't know if it's just Japanese, but most like Asian, I guess, cultures, like the traditional ones.
Yes.
You know,
Well,
like
think
the dynasties and stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So if we're going to touch on that, like
Yeah.
think about it. What do you guys call your family, let's say tribe? Do you guys use tribe? Do you use clan? Do you use
Yes.
Yeah.
I think Filipinos use the word clan a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, like the Soto clan. You
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, them.
immediately, and then even like who's your boyfriend? What's his surname?
Yeah.
You know, then there's
Yeah.
like this weird thing like
Yeah.
that in Filipino culture. I learnt that in Japan too. You know, like certain surnames, right, have a crest. So that it could show that if they've got that history, that they might have been upper class or middle class or
Royal.
lower class, whatever they're considered.
Yeah.
And if they've got a what did I just call it? A crest.
Yeah, crest.
Yeah, if they've got a crest, like a symbol,
Yeah.
then it's most likely that they were affluent. You know, like they have a history of being samurai or
Yeah.
Oh,
something
shit.
like that. Yeah. So that's where I'm looking at my surname
Yeah.
now. You know, so for example, my mom's maiden name is Lopez.
Lopez.
So
yeah.
do
Oh,
I have
wow.
Spanish heritage or do I have Mexican heritage?
Yeah.
Or because apparently in Spain it's Lopez
Lopez
with an S,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
means wolf, right? But in Mexico it's with a Z. It's a different Lopez. So do I have roots in Central America? You know, it's
You
like,
never know.
and then Lawang, you know, it's like a obviously Filipino name.
Yeah.
Well, we already talked about how it could be Chinese or it could be something, but maybe we're actually a tribe of tree people.
Yeah.
We come from a forest.
Yeah.
You
Dun,
know,
dun, dun.
dun,
How much
you
tree?
know.
And it's cool as well because like sometimes you know you're born into that family name, yeah, and there's sort of like sometimes it can also be a negative thing where you really have no idea what's going on, but because of your family name's history,
Yes.
You got born into this.
people see you as this sort of like like his last name is this,
Yes.
therefore he's
Yeah.
this,
Yes.
you know.
Yo, I'm just gonna plant the seed there, but I don't think we can talk about it today. But that's where I've been exploring this idea of generational trauma.
Okay.
Then before that could technically be generational karma. You know, because like think about like Philippines, the land of gold.
Yeah.
Technically, then why are we so third world?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, why did we do something as a nation
Yeah.
or as a clan or as a people? You know what I mean? If we believe in karma, you
Yeah.
know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
Wow.
trippy shit.
But that's sort of like also where embodying the name comes into place. It's like
Exactly.
sometimes you are not your name,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you are not your family's name, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Some people don't even want to be.
Yeah.
Associated to their
Yeah.
names.
Yeah.
Because of
Whoa.
how fucked up
Yeah.
they did to the, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Like
your
back in the
family.
history and stuff. You
Yeah.
know, like even in like most animes, like the Uchiha clan and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like he's an Uchiha, like therefore there's a negative connotation.
Connotation to that,
Yeah.
to that tribe, to that clan.
Like
Yeah.
goes, I guess, surface level.
Yeah.
You know?
I won't mention the name, but there is someone I did meet here, and then other people like verified it. And funnily enough, one of the guys that verified it ended up with this person. Yeah, but this person has a surname
Yeah.
that is like a massive like cartel family in the Philippines.
Oh.
So they push like everything.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's a family of like higher up pushers. You know?
Confirmed.
Confirmed.
Oh, nice.
It's-
Liddy,
yeah, it's litty as. But then, unfortunately, the stereotype of like, let's say, Uchiha
Yeah.
or like, it's like that's a drug
Yeah,
family,
yeah.
you know, is like,
He carries it even if he's not really
the
involved.
personality
Yeah.
of that person
Yeah.
is like, okay,
Yeah.
you know, it's
Yeah.
like kind of snaky,
Yeah.
you know. So
That's
it's really
like that-
interesting.
Even with that in the Philippines as well, like political families
Mhm.
are a big
Yeah.
thing. Like if you're a Lopez or if you're an Aquino,
Mm-hmm.
Arkino,
You know,
yeah.
Yeah,
Or like
Ayala or
yeah,
yeah.
you know, Or
Yeah.
even in I guess the South America, if you're Escobar.
Escobar,
you know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
like a name.
A name.
In itself.
Kardashian, man. Like
Yeah,
Kardashian
There's,
is
there's
a
a
big
lot of there's a
name.
lot
Yeah,
of like
that's exactly
I guess
it.
meaning and that goes with just a name.
It's kind of like a
Mhm.
status symbol.
Yeah,
Status symbol.
Status symbol.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. And then so, hey, you should marry into that family.
Yeah.
Because it's
you
it's
know?
good.
Yeah.
And like two family names marry each other, like
Mm.
have a higher
Higher
power
power.
over whatever, right?
That's exactly it.
You know.
Or it will go down.
Yeah.
The downgrade, regress,
Yeah.
digress. Like, for example, my friend in Adelaide, Filipino, he ended up dating his katulong. And then the family were just opposed, you know. And then for years they tried to separate him, and then unfortunately they separated now. That's a sad story, but you know, you have like examples of that.
Yeah.
You know, but what's funny about that, right? Like when we think of like marrying into different names, is the idea that like I read about Aboriginal tribes. Yeah. So if you were just to categorize 4 different tribes in an area, A, B, C, D, A and B and C and D are forbidden to marry. They have to go from A to D or B to C.
Yeah.
They have to go on a diagonal, whatever the diagram I read, because it's better for genetics. You know, because you know, like I guess in small areas, and I guess we've learned. I learned it through religion, but incest is a bad thing. Obviously, it's kind of fucked up. When you think, yuck, you know, like what's that?
Even science says it's
Even
fucked up.
it's you end up with having like bad genetics or
Yeah.
something. But you know, it's like it's just interesting how quite naturally it happens in people. You know what I mean? So funny, hey, what names? The levels you can expand with names. You know, it's the way that. It's I guess that's how our structure is, you know. And I guess if we bring it back to like this kind of stuff, like doing social media, think about the collabs, the word collab, you know. If it's always in-house, it's kind of not, you know, it can eventually get stale.
Yeah.
But if you're constantly collabing,
Yeah.
which has been a trend for more than a decade, you know, like clothes even, you know, like, you're getting shit, I can't think of any collabs right now, but it's heaps of collabs. It's just how things
like
evolve.
I think it was this Adidas versus Adidas and Pharrell.
Yes,
the shoes
and
like
yeah,
athletes and Nikes, like the name LeBron and,
shoes, Jordans,
you know, like even in its name, Jordan became not just his name but a brand. If you want to go like, you know, I guess surface level, Jordan as a brand, you know, it didn't just show as, you know, Michael Jordan as the player or the person. It also showed like his influence into the game, you know, and it bleeded out from basketball to now streetwear. Now it's like a whole brand. You know, clothing, shoes. Now there's like Jordan basketball schools. You know, like all these sports sort of thing, and even Kobe Bryant. You know, his name Mamba Mentality. Mamba, I guess, basketball school. You know, he has his own sort of basketball like, you know, when he teaches the kids. You know, so even that, you know, collaboration. I guess, like you said, it's a good thing because you're not just I guess showing new product, new innovations, but you're also giving and taking knowledge. And let's go like as small as, you know, like 2 different I guess people like you and I. You know, when we're collabing, there's a lot of things that I can learn from you and vice versa.
Exactly right.
And that's I guess the payoff of collaborating. You know,
They
may not be, you know, you may not have your ideas put into place, but you know, you may not see a different perspective that you can see. And that's a good thing because, you know, your ideas may be sort of, I guess, in the broader picture, very stale, very, you know, very small. But if you bring in a different perspective, if you bring in a different, I guess, eyes to, you know, different point of view, maybe we can turn that original idea to something even better.
Exactly. You know? That is exactly, or even old ideas into something new.
But there's also a bad side when, you know, people collaborate for their own benefit, not for the benefit of the collaboration.
Exactly.
So you gotta make
That's a
sure
good point.
you sort of pick the right crowd.
In fact, that's probably some another thing too that we keep on just branching out. It's amazing. It's good. Tree. It's it is exactly all of those things. Is the what's the word? The etiquette. I think here's a funny story. Yeah, like for example, because you guys work at a restaurant. Yeah. Someone just went up to the counter and said, "Oh, can you give me the recipe for your smash patties or for this sauce, whatever?" You're like, "Excuse me?" But people ask these questions, and then people feel entitled to them. Similarly enough with like another group I collaborate with, the entrepreneurs, because they're making a lot of noise on a little bit more of a different level, like more fine dining style of Filipino food. They've got like other people coming up to them and going, "Hey, can I get a copy of your menu?"
Excuse me?
And etiquette, I think, is really an important thing, because I guess some people's names get tarnished as well, because of lack of etiquette, and so it's interesting how this is starting to just show like how things from a simple thing like a name then can become like a story about like why that name is good, why that name is bad. Wow.
But it's like in that sense as well, like people, like you said, feel entitled to, I guess, have an input without thinking of whether that input is beneficial to the person or the brand that you're giving input to, or does it only benefit you because you have something to say?
Yeah, it's a difference between just taking something or contributing to something. Everything is give and take. There's no such thing as something for nothing. That's one thing.
But some people, and that's sort of like the downside, and that's sort of something that kills the industry, is people collaborate for the benefit of themselves, and they're not really open-minded for new things. And some people are like, they have this big ass ego where I'm not gonna let you tell me what to do or what I shouldn't do. Like I'm gonna tell you this is what I'm gonna do, and it's like it's not just a collaboration. Now you're just like telling them what to do. It's not really a team effort.
No, that's exactly it. And it needs to be that, I think.
Because being very open-minded, yes, you're able to put your ideas across, but you also got to be able to take different ideas and different approaches, because there's things that you can't see that they can. There's things that you can't offer that they can.
Exactly.
That will elevate your ideas and everyone else's ideas and smash it into, what it is, like a project that it becomes. And that's very different, to find those types of people, to be very open-minded at the same time, very giving with what they have and what they learn. Because for me, the way I come off, I'm always like, I'm like a sponge. I'm trying to absorb all the things that I can learn, and obviously give input where I can, but not in a way where it's like, this is the way you do it because it's the right thing. I may not know it's the right thing, but they may know it the different way.
Exactly right.
So when you and I started coming together, this is, and I told you this is what I can offer you, because I'm coming from this sort of industry. Right? But with you, you're coming in from years and decades of experience, from what it was before. And you can offer a lot, I guess, a different perspective. All those teachings, all those wisdom, and how to navigate these industries, because you've been there. You work with different people, and for us, particularly for me, I'm just starting. I'm just trying to get my foot on the door.
Trying to get your foot in the door.
Trying to get my foot in the door, and at the same time, I come with, I guess, a fresh perspective, being, I guess, one of the younger generations, and for you, it's like, you don't want to get too stuck in the olden generation of what you're used to.
Exactly.
But you want to try different things.
Exactly.
That will please this generation, right?
That's exactly it.
You gotta create the name for your own.
It's most
exactly
like it's not just a collaboration, but also like a mesh of different generational culture, if there is a term.
That's exactly it. And it's funny because, like, if you think, why does everyone have a name, or let's say, why do tribes have certain names, clans have all these kind of names? It's because it's an ecosystem. It's just, that's nature.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I think the issue why, let's say, I'm going to talk about Australia, not to throw shade on our own country that we love, you know, but it's like, there's not enough of an ecosystem. You know, like when I think about the ideas of like Saturday night you're going to work, right, to go till 1 or 2, for me that makes a lot of sense, but there's not enough support or people to make an ecosystem like that work yet. But if this was Philippines, that place be full. You know what I mean? You know, if we were to like do collaborations with people in the Philippines, the benefit to us is much better than to them.
Yeah.
You know why? Because there's how many millions in the Philippines that could potentially become part of your ecosystem.
Yeah.
But for them, you've only got 6 million in Australia, you know, and maybe only 1% of that are Filipino.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's really, really important that, we put up certain boundaries. Or before we were talking about boundaries, like safe boundaries of work or who you are, who you were
The
close.
division.
The division. But then now it's like the opposite side of the spectrum where you got to break the boundaries and be like, right, these people, you guys need to start mixing, you know? Like, hey, you're really talented. Why aren't you doing anything, you know? Like, oh, no, whatever, you know? And I think that's the thing about this collaboration now. Because we're trying to figure this thing out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you guys are at a good age to start making moves outside of where you're at.
Yeah.
You've already secured your spot for work, security, you know, and maybe to a point, it's also like most people your age with a career, they're like, I'm a bit bored of this. Like, I want to mix it up a bit, you know? And then this whole other side, which should be more established, like we're always looking to America and Asia and Europe. Why can't we establish something like that here? But we do have that, but how many people think like that?
Yeah.
That's the thing, you know?
And I think the way I don't want to, I guess, say it in a bad way, but with your, because I don't know how it was at the start here, right? Because you've been here, right? But for you, with the way you talk about, you know, expanding now than before, maybe you just didn't have the tools.
Yes.
From before, you just didn't have ways to do
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah.
But having said that as well, you've gained a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience so that you can, you know, if we ended up, I guess, making moves, you will help us push that boundary further.
Yo, for
and
sure.
now having that prime, I guess, time to do it now because, you know, you've got us that knows, I guess, that can go beyond like the boundaries of the locals and stuff like that, having a different perspective, right? Now it's like, with your experience and our, I guess, enthusiasm and having, you know, different generations, now we can combine and just be like, yo, is, you know.
That's it. That's for me, that's
very
subconsciously
core,
the core and the essence of like these collaborations, you know? Because if you think about it, like, I don't know how far you've explored like your own how can I say the artist communities here, but if you guys were around when I was going out and doing stuff, things were so much more underground, you know?
like you mentioned, and for me, the only, and this is just recently, the last 10 years, that's the only time when I was immersed in the artist culture, and that was when K-Star, B-Code was
yes.
I guess like dance competitions was big.
Yes.
It was only until YouTube as well, like they came down here, beatbox, like I mentioned before. That was the only time, and that was just less than 10 years ago.
Yeah, exactly right.
So that's, and I'm not even that immersed in that industry, in that culture, in that community, you know, and so that like I can't really say, oh, this was before, now, you know.
It's really interesting because like there's a very, very big spectrum of how can I say, very big spectrum of like underground and commercial, and they're fusing, you know what I mean? And then like from one generation where it was super underground, it was word of mouth.
Yeah.
Now everything is online.
Yeah.
So as an example of like the pros and cons is like, for example, I teach a program every Wednesday in St. Albans, and we always get one high school or two high schools walking past, sometimes primary school kids, right? But we're struggling, or I'm struggling to engage and get new people interested. Maybe breakdancing is not in anymore, you know, or maybe the next generation's much more shy, or they purely are not as not interested. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've noticed that too. I've noticed I wouldn't say decrease, but like dancing itself is still in, but like the b-boy form,
yes,
it's not there.
It's not there anymore.
It's not that big
it's there,
anymore.
but it's kind of low key.
Like,
it's low key.
You have the choreography.
Yes.
It's still there. You know, like ABC.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
HH High, you know, all these dance competitions.
Yeah.
But you never see the b-boy battles.
No.
Not anymore.
No,
like
it's
not even in the city, like all those street performers.
Yeah.
You never see b-boy dancers anymore. At least when you do, they're very small. They're very limited.
Very limited.
Yeah.
Yet on the other side of the spectrum, on the other side of the world, breakdancing is going to the Olympics.
Jesus.
Yeah. So it's going. It will be confirmed. I think it's almost fully confirmed. 2020 is Tokyo. Then 2024 is France.
Oh, okay.
So that's where the first adult competition is going to be. So you know, so like it was a pattern before. I think it still is now. But Australia's always a bit behind.
Yeah.
You know, but when I look around, I'm thinking we shouldn't be behind.
Yeah.
But maybe culture, mentality, population, so many factors affect it from becoming an actual ecosystem.
Yeah.
You know, and I think maybe that's where, you know, think about what Birdman said. You gotta put respect on the name, you know what I mean? I think if that is a message we get out, then it's already happening. Have you guys heard of the Hampton Park Boys? HP Boys? They're a group of Polynesians, islanders, that have like a style of music that's from UK drill and I think Chicago, I'm not sure, somewhere in America, and it's hardcore rap. But this squad is like hundreds of islanders, and they all rap hardcore.
Jeez.
You know, then there's another group, I think they want more so perhaps the originators.
Yeah.
They're called 1-4. They're from Mount Druitt in Sydney. Whole communities, massive. When I see their music videos, I'm like, where are the Philos doing that?
Yeah.
You know, when we think about our Philo cousins in America and how they're involved they are in arts, music, fashion, it's like, how come we don't have that here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then I just had an image now from my vlog of us outside St. Berg's, that could be a place. And that's how I treat and respect St. Berg's, you know, and you guys, because it's like, hey, I don't need to go all the way to the city and be this different character. Like, oh, hey, my name's Lama. Or, hey, what's up, Lama? No. It's more like, I can come to St. Berg's, like, voice, you know, like, you know, and it's only 15 minutes away from here.
But let's not even like think of, you know, Australia and the US, just Melbourne and Sydney. They're two different drastic creative communities. You know, like Sydney seems a bit more underground, but it's got a lot more mainstream if you think about it, right? Than Melbourne. Just I've got friends that, you know, it's very creative in Sydney. And I see, like, you know, the creative communities there are much more intact, and not just because they want to hide, but because, you know, they're much more stronger than we are here. I don't know if it's, you know, they want to be divisive here, or they're just really shy, or just, you know, like you said, there's no interest anymore.
It's so strange.
But in Sydney itself, like, Sydney's got a lot of, like, I guess, creative people. And they have an ecosystem in itself.
It's exactly
like you mentioned before. You know, like every dancer, every, you know, singer, whether they're Asians, they're Islanders, you know, they're white people, they know, I guess they know of someone that you know, or that you know, someone that you know. Exactly. It's very interconnected.
Very, it's a lot more. It's very much so.
And if you think about it, Sydney is, I wouldn't say like lower than Melbourne in terms of, I guess, the way city is.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Melbourne's known for being more multicultural than
Cultural,
Sydney.
yeah, yeah.
Melbourne's more upbeat. Melbourne's more, like jazzed up.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. It's a lot more swag in
Yeah,
Melbourne,
yeah,
but
yeah.
in
It is-
Sydney is but yet they have a stronger ecosystem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or maybe we have one here too, but we don't know.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And I think this is where, for me, the benefit for me of doing these conversations is if there's one person that listens to this
Yeah.
and it changes their mind,
Yeah.
makes them more aware of things,
Yeah.
that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like I played that game and it's not for me anymore. I got different, my priorities have shifted,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I see you guys, perhaps it's something that, a game you guys do want to play. You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason why you guys can't repeat in a different way
What you
what
tried
I've
to
done,
do.
or and other people have already tried to
Yeah.
do and done before.
Yeah.
It's part of every generation.
Mm.
So it's really interesting. I think that these kind of conversations will allow for the growth, because it's like people think about it, they watch and listen to things from overseas, but how many people know more about what's happening here? It's like,
Yeah.
hey, do you know about this burger joint? Hey, do you know about this brand called Saintside or whatever?
Yeah.
Even when you look at like Boss Dan's like apparel he creates for himself, that could be an actual apparel he could sell for
Yeah,
St.
he
Berg's,
can.
like, because it looks good, man, and it does that whole sampling of like, oh, that's Stussy, but it says St. Berg's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so that's an ecosystem in itself, Whereas in the Philippines, it's the opposite end. It's like full bootleg, but then now it's no longer A grade fakes, the actual
Stuff, yeah.
originals,
Yeah.
but they can't sell as originals because it's not being sold at the official Adidas store or whatever.
yeah.
But they make the original qualities in the Phils,
Yeah.
so they now sell these what used to be A grade fakes to now there's a different name for it. That's the whole other spectrum. How can we get the best of both worlds?
Yeah.
Fact, it's just giving me an idea. Tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
How
want
do you bridge that? That's
You make
that,
more
that is a
eggs.
challenge because
make omelette.
you know the pros and cons on both sides. Now how can you collaborate and just like, hey, this can work?
Yes.
And that is a challenge.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Those are the things that I guess we can try, put our foot down, and touch the waters, test it, and see what works and what doesn't.
That's exactly it.
But like you said, and the way I see it, it's good to have conversation, but let's not just settle for conversations.
Exactly.
People will listen,
Yes.
but people will act more if they see people
Doing
acting against the current.
That's
Yes.
that's exactly it.
So
Balance, man. Balance.
yeah, we can't just and people can't just be like always talking about without having any, I guess, action or doing stuff. And that works for anything that we do.
Exactly
that
right.
works for not just, I guess, the creative field, but if you wanna be good at something,
Mm.
you can't just be like absorbing like a lot of motivational quotes and not do anything.
and not do anything.
And question,
exactly.
why aren't I getting there?
Exactly.
Like, you gotta put the work in.
That's exactly it.
And the conversations will push you,
Mm.
but you gotta start moving on yourself. You gotta
That's
start
exactly
moving
it.
for yourself and take that first step.
Yeah,
you know?
man. That's
So,
exactly it. Taking that first step.
I guess if you can take away something out of this whole podcast, it's more about stay authentic, be genuine,
Authentic.
and start with the small things.
That's exactly
Start
it.
with the small things. Start something that's you haven't seen being done. Whether it's this, whether it's collaborating with, I guess a race or a culture that you haven't been really immersed into, or even just immersing yourself, researching in things that you haven't really have no idea of. That's the first thing, and that's a major step, because now you're trying to see, hey, what can from this be done, and how can we work around it?
Exactly.
You know?
Right, man. That's exactly it. It's like like this is a bit more meta, but it's like you're linking your mind by taking that first step with the body, and then with those two in link, and you're moving and you're making things happen, you know, that makes you feel more whole and more accomplished as a person, which is your soul.
Yeah.
So mind, body, soul, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a bit left field,
Yeah,
but it
yeah.
really relates for me, you know,
Yeah.
because that's being authentic, that's being genuine, and that's taking the first step.
Yeah. And also, because, like, who else is going to take the first step?
Exactly.
We always say, oh, someone needs to do this, someone needs to do that.
Right.
But if that someone's also saying, hey, someone needs to do this, then we're all thinking someone needs to do this, no one's going to do it.
Yes.
You know?
That
like
is
that
exactly.
bystander effect. Oh, someone's going to call a backup. Someone's going to call the police.
Yeah.
And no one does.
actually did.
So we have to, I guess, create that action, you know.
You got to take action.
Yeah, we gotta take action. Yeah, take that action.
Yeah.
If no one wants to take it,
Yes.
you know, I mean, people think someone has to take it, but they don't want to create the action for themselves. Want to take the action for themselves. So
That's exactly it.
might as well, you know, embody that. Oh yeah, someone needs to make changes.
That's it.
You know, and if they're afraid of, oh, maybe these changes won't affect greatly, well, how would they know? How would we know if it's not gonna affect greatly if you don't take that first step? So that's one of the things that I guess we hope to make out of what we're doing right now.
That's it.
Even with just this first podcast, having that conversation started, you know, and maybe, you know, with your network, when you share these, you know, maybe they've been thinking about it for a while, and no one just ever talked about it besides us.
That's exactly it.
You know,
That's
and maybe
exactly it.
having that conversation will get them sort of like, hey, looking this direction, like, hey, something these guys are brewing, you know, maybe this can be something.
Yeah.
You know, and the more we create content, the more we put stuff out there
Yes.
that will, I guess, bridge that gap
Yes.
from the two different cultures. Maybe they get more, ano to? Ano yan? You know,
Yeah.
like, you know, when your kapitbahay is making food, it's like, ano yan?
Yeah. You can
Yeah.
smell it. You're like, hey. Yeah.
And then it's like, hey, come on, guys,
Yeah.
like, you know,
Yeah.
include, but someone has to take that first step.
First step. That is exactly it, man. That is exactly it. I had some final comments, but they've escaped me. But I guess,
Where did it go?
yeah. I think. Do you guys have any more comments?
That's it, man.
Nah.
Yeah.
I think I mean, it started with names, but I guess in the broader spectrum, this is pretty much what we, you know, if you want to make our name out there, put our name out there,
Yes.
you know, putting it back circle.
Yeah, that's exactly
Yeah,
it. If you want to get your name out there, you got to do something about it. You know,
Yeah.
just do it.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's crap, whatever. Everyone starts crap.
Yeah.
So lift the veil of perfect YouTube and commercial and Hollywood, and look. Just in our garage, you know, like with these. Look at my tripod; it's
Yeah.
dodgy as, you know. That looks pro, but this doesn't.
Yeah.
But hey, we're
Because
doing
we gotta
something.
keep it authentic.
That's
Yeah,
exactly.
Authentic.
That's exactly. I don't have $1,000 to blow on gear right now.
You just gotta make do with what you have, and sometimes, you know, gear is not that important.
Exactly.
The
It's about the content.
That's content.
and the heart of the content that you make.
That's exactly it. It's not what you do, it's how you do it.
How you do it.
It's not where you're
Okay.
from, it's where you're at.
Yeah.
Say it louder for the people in the back.
Oh, it's that's deep. That's deep.
Yeah,
deep,
man. But hey, thank you for a good
No,
first
man, thanks
conversation,
for
guys.
having us.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can keep continue this. We
Yeah,
can.
we can,
We will
for
continue
sure.
this.
Good talk.
Yeah.
Good talk.
Good talk.
It's
And-
really interesting how a simple thing.
Yeah,
From
big
your name,
spans.
yeah.
Yeah. This is gonna be great. Yeah, guys. Feel free to like comment on this kind of stuff. Share it across your networks.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, this is a growing thing, and you can grow with us.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in.
Ladies, guys.
Peace.